Hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good.
Alright, my name is Jeff and I'm going to be your nurse for the night. So, we're going to perform a head to toe assessment. Um, just gotta see how you're doing today. First, let me just go ahead and wash my hands. Alright, my hands are clean. And we're gonna go ahead and start it on your head, which is looking for any kind of the bruises, any kind of cuts, anything abnormal in your hair, which is fine here. And then the second thing that we're gonna be doing tonight is just looking at your ears and see, not your ears, your eyes, and see if your eyes look normal before we go to the ears. So let me just see if there's anything in your eyes. Okay. And now using my pen light, let's see if everything is fine there. All right, everything looks okay with me. Now we're gonna go ahead and check for your nose, okay? One thing you can do before I look inside, you can just press one nose and try to see if you can breathe out of the second nose. All right, that's okay. Do you feel anything bad or is everything okay there?
It's good.
Can you breathe? All right, that's good. So let me just go ahead and assess inside and see if there's any danger. No, everything is okay. So we'll just assess for the nose. Now we're gonna go and look for the ears and look behind the ears and then everywhere and look inside. Everything looks good to the side and inside. Look for inside. Alright, everything looks good on the ears. So we're gonna go ahead right now and it says for your carotid. So the carotid it should be your pulse on your neck. So it should be right here, which I can feel under my fingers. And now let's see if there's any enlargement of the neck. Okay, everything looks good for me. Do you have any pain, anything while I'm palpating your neck?
No.
No. Alright, everything is okay. So we're gonna go ahead now going down and assess your arms. So one thing that we're gonna be doing when I'm assessing your arms is looking for your motion and see if there's any pain. Just let me know when we are getting to that point. But the first thing is we know that we have the brachials pulse here that we can do both at the same time. We can looking for the brachials and the radials. We can do both. No, we cannot do both radials because obviously it's it's not going to be okay. This is not good. We can't do. We can't. We're just gonna go ahead and looking at the brachials, okay, and palpate them and see, okay, and evaluate the heart rate when looking at the brachials. So they are good with me. So now we're just gonna go ahead and look if there is anything, any breaks on the skin, anything abnormal. Looking at the tricep and the biceps. If there's anything, everything looks good to me. All right. So now we're just going to test the motions. I'll have you to push against me and resist. All right. Your motions look good. Now I need you to hold on to my finger and press it. Alright, everything looks good. There's no pain while we're doing that. That should be good. So now we get to that point. Before we assess on your extremities, we're just gonna go ahead and listen to your heart sound. For the heart sound, we know that we are assessing for S1 and S2. So S1 is the tricuspid and the mitral valve closing, and the S2 is the aortic and the pulmonic valve closing. So we're just gonna when we assess for that, we are looking for any sound that is abnormal, any kind of worries, any kind of murmurs, anything like that. So we'll just go ahead and listen for the sound. If you can just go ahead and lay down for me. Alright. S1, there is no abnormal sound. And for S2, there is no abnormal sound. Everything looks good to me in there. And while we are in the abdomen down there, we're just gonna go and looking at the quadrants, which is the abdominal and the four quadrants. So we know that we have four quadrants, which is the upper right quadrants and lower right quadrants, the upper left quadrants and the lower left quadrants. And we're gonna go ahead and just inspect without touching. First, we can just inspect. If you can just pull up your shirt for me so I can inspect Alright, there is anything abnormal as we can inspect and see her skin look normal, there is anything bad. And right now we're gonna go ahead and just auscultate, which is listen to any kind of sound using the stethoscope, both bell and the diaphragm. This is the bell and this is the diaphragm. So let's use that and listen for anything on the um, upper right quadrant. There's anything. Upper left, everything looks okay. Lower right, everything is okay. And lower left, everything is okay. So we know that on the upper right quadrant we have the liver and the gallbladder, and we know that on the lower right we have something like we can find anything like appendicitis, and we have on the lower upper left we can find anything like the spleen, any splenic abnormalities, and we can find on the last things we can find like anything like the lower left ureter, we can find any abnormalities, any things like that. So this is fine. And now we're gonna keep, as we keep going, we're just gonna go ahead and check for the motions of the feet and check for the pulses on the feet and any capillary refills, anything like that. So I'm just gonna bend your knee, um, which is the flexion, and see, do you have any pain while I'm doing that?
No.
So she should be good. Do you have any pain when I'm doing that?
No.
This is the flexion when you pull it up, and then when you put it back down, which will be just extend the knees, and we can do just both legs the same way. Let me know if there's any pain. Alright, those should be good right now. And now you can just sit back. No. Before you sit back, then just check for your capillary refills by saying if there is anything abnormal and checking for the pulses on the feet. Okay, so there is anything wrong, everything looks good. Now you can just sit back, sit up. You can just sit up back. Okay, and as we just assessed, everything looks so good to me from everything that we just assessed. Now the one thing we're gonna be doing is listening for the lung sound. The lung sound is mostly best okay to check when you are going to the posterior side of the patient, which is the back of the patient. So I'm just gonna have you go ahead and stand up and then pull up your shirt. Okay, just go on your back and pull up your shirt, and from here I'm just gonna use my stethoscope, okay, and listen for anything abnormal on the lung sound. For the lung sound, we know that we are looking for the lobes. We have like 3 lobes, and the 2 lobes, 3 on the right and 2 on the left. So we're gonna go and listen for over those lobes and see if we can find anything abnormal. So let me listen. We can go from here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7. Everything looks good on the back. There is no any noises, anything that we could hear, any crackles, any bronchioles, anything like any vascular, anything like that, any results. Everything looks good. Okay. So the one thing we're gonna be assessing right now while we are in the back is the spine. So the spine is basically we're just gonna palpate from here all the way down. Let me know if there's any pain while I'm assessing your spine. Okay, everything look good, and we go up wider and see if there's anything like all the way from the thoracic to the lumbar. So we just assess this, and there's any pain, anything abnormal, and she looks great. Now one thing we're gonna be assessing. Now you can put it down and sit and have a sit. Thank you. One thing we're gonna be assessing right now is all the cranial nerves. We know that we have 12 cranial nerves that we can assess for, which is we assess the vision. We already go. We can't do the test because obviously And then what we can do the shoulders, which is and see if anything is okay with the shoulders. Can you just shrug your shoulder and see? Let me know this. Try to resist against it. Is there any pain while you're doing that? No. Okay, your shoulder looks okay. So, and as we test for memories, so obviously, she's okay on cranial nerves, and now we can go and check her for the balance and see if her balance is okay. I just need you to just stand up and walk here and come back and see if it's just go back and forth. One and then second time. Alright, she just spoke perfect, so she doesn't have anything abnormal in her balance. She looked well balanced. So everything is so good. Um is there anything that while I'm doing that, any question, anything that you would like to ask me? No. Okay, so we just check you. Everything looks normal with you. I'm just gonna go ahead and document everything on you and have the physician read and review. And later when I come back, and I'll just go and check back with you and see if there is anything changing from that point. Alright, other than that, we should be good. And I will see you later. Bye.